I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, shield my greed.
Dillon Lawson is out as the New York Yankees hitting coach. I am here with my best of friend, Hector the GOAT.
Bro, we didn't plan this, right? We didn't plan that you and I would be doing designated spitters when Dillon Lawson got fired, but the news just came out.
I was literally just eating a sandwich.
Bro, I was scrambling to set up just so we could go ASAP. We were supposed to go on at 7, but happy that, you know, the news came out. But will this change anything when it comes to the hitting?
And that's the fun thing that we get a chance to talk about. So guys, I literally, as we wrapped up, I was going upstairs. I come back downstairs and I got a message on my phone that said Dillon Lawson is out. That was like at 6:07. I go ahead and tweet it. By the time I tweeted it, as I could pull this up actually right here. Let me see if I got the screen. There it is. Make this a little bigger. As I tweeted it, it was 6:10. And I just wrote, let me write, Lawson is gone. And I'm assuming people are probably thinking, well, maybe that's just that's a prediction. Now I scroll down and at 6:09, literally seconds before me, Yankees are planning to change hitting coach. Dillon Lawson expected to be relieved of his job. So Lawson is gone. But as we always start the show, I like to start it with where the Yankees currently stand. And Hector, as the first half is done, the New York Yankees are not in a playoff spot. So, of course, this is that corresponding type move to say enough is enough. The team needs to start hitting. But what does it really mean? What does it mean to you? Like, do you feel like, okay, this is going to make a difference?
I'm not sure how much of a difference is going to be. You know, you and I, we was talking a little bit backstage, but the recent games that we've lost, last 2 games against Baltimore, we got embarrassed in one of them, losing the series against the Chicago Cubs. You know, the front office, the fans were upset. You heard Aaron Boone getting booed going out there to make a pitching change. Yep. So the front office, the organization, they knew the fans were going to be going crazy on social media, and that's what was happening on Twitter. And then the news came out that Dillon Lawson was fired. He's the sacrificial lamb, and it's not like it wasn't warranted. It definitely was warranted with the way that he's been performing. When the pitching's bad, you look at the pitching coach. When the offense is bad, you look at the hitting coach.
Well, bro, I talk about this all the time. I tell people, well, maybe it's not Boone's fault. It's the players on the field. At the end of the day, you're the manager. If I'm running a bank and we're not meeting numbers and I'm busting my ass every day, but my team is not being held accountable, and my manager comes in and goes, hey, Pete, I talked to these guys. I've talked to you. What's going on here? And I go, well, I think they're going to get better. All right, that runs out at some point. And now you're the target. So now next time I come in here, I got to write you up for not doing your job. That's the way of life. So at the end of the day, look, do I think all of a sudden this is going to be whoa, the New York Yankees have got rid of Dillon Lawson. Here comes the 6 runs a game. It's going to happen. No, I don't. It's an overall hitting philosophy of this club. At some point, kind of like the analogy I just brought up is, when do you look at it and go, well, Marcus Timms was a major league player and he didn't work out. Well, this guy was a college guy. He didn't work out. He does all the little analytic things. Hit strikes hard, and apparently it worked in the minor leagues. At what point do I look at it and go, hey, guys, maybe this is a philosophy issue? Maybe we're doing the wrong things. If you look up and down the Yankees minor league system, you don't see many guys hitting 300. You don't see many guys hitting 280, 270.
No.
A lot of the guys, even the better guys, the Austin Wells, that are professional hitters, are hitting 250, 255. You don't got many guys, even in the Yankee system, that are tearing the cover off of the ball. And I always relay it to one thing, Hector. I relate to one thing. I'm going to get to the super chats, guys. We got 219 in here. Hit the like button and subscribe if you are not. It's launch angle. It's this idea that guys got to put the ball in the seats. And look, I brought up Cody Bellinger today. Cody Bellinger revamped his swing because he came so adept to uppercuts. And he was terrible. He became Joey Gallo.
Yeah.
He refined his swing to become more leveled. And voila, he's hitting almost 300. And the power numbers might be down a little bit, but it's still very good. He's a much better player.
Mhm.
I think it's a philosophy thing. I think it's an organizational problem.
Well, you bring up a good point when you bring up the Yankees prospects and the Yankees farm system just in general. When you and Derek was having this conversation the other day, I put in the chat jokingly, well, the closest one we got hitting 300 is Esteban Florial, who's hitting 295, jokingly, right? But it's a cause for concern when none of your top prospects are hitting even close to 300. Like Anthony Volpe, right? Never hit 300 while he was in the minor leagues, right? Jason Dominguez never hit 300. And the same goes on for every other prospect that's in the system. So when it comes down to it, you got to sit down with everyone, not just the hitting coach, but everyone that's a part of development and scouting, and try to break it down and just build it back up. If it's not working from one aspect, you got to look at the beginning where it starts at, because where it starts at, you could fix it. So in a couple of years, when the players fully develop and they get to the major league level, they can actually sit down and with an actual major league hitting coach and actually perform on the field.
Yeah, facts. And we got a super chat from DJ Steels. He says, is that fluffy? Why you got to do this, Steels? Why you got to talk about my brother that way, man? What's up, kiddos? Yanks need to go 45-26 just to be at 94 wins, and that'll be enough for the first wild card spot. You think they get enough? Hold on, wait a second. Wait. You think the Yankees are going to play 20 games over 500? Or, I know you're just saying that. Hector, what are the chances the Yankees play 20 games over 500?
Listen, I was going over it last week. If the Tampa Bay Rays for the rest of the season, if they just play 500 baseball, right, for the rest of the season, they'll finish with 95, 98 wins, right? So for the Yankees to even get to 98 wins, the Yankees will have to win over 50 games in the second half. And with the way that the team has performed, especially in the past couple of weeks, I don't see it. I definitely do not see, unless there's several blockbuster trades, because you can't just make one move and figure that, okay, now we fix it. Now we could knock on the door of the Tampa Bay Rays. No, you need several moves to fix this roster right now.
Yep. There's tons of moves the Yankees have to make. And, another good point is this, and I understand that, maybe doing this type of move is the first step, right? It's a first step of a process. Here's my main question overall when it comes to this. Who's going with him? Who's going with him? Who is going with Dillon Lawson? Because at the end of the day, are we going to see Josh Donaldson in Colorado or no?
It's correlating moves are going to happen. Obviously, Josh Donaldson, he got injured in this game. There hasn't been any update to how severe it is, but is he going to be let go? Is Peraza going to be called up to replace Donaldson if he goes on a 15-day IL? There's other moves need to happen. It's not just Dillon Lawson. Exactly. That wasn't the issue, right?
And that's my point.
He was the hitting coach, but he wasn't the players out there trying to hit.
Right, and that's my point, is that, all right, cool. If you want to sit there and go, hey, this is on Dillon Lawson, or, Dillon Lawson is a culprit of this, fine and cute and dandy. But what about the guys on the field? What about the Josh Donaldsons that is the easiest way out, because all you got to say is, we're done. See you later. Adios. Time for you to move on. We're already paying you as it is. Time for you to go. And I want to bring this up. This is from Brandon Cuddy. He says, I'm told that the Yankees are still in the process of deciding their next primary hitting coach, have narrowed it down to 2 candidates, and could make the decision very soon. Though it is not expected today, again, Dillon Lawson is out as the Yankees hitting coach. We do know that Brad Wilkerson is already the guy under Dillon Lawson, the assistant hitting coach, and he is a major league ball player, so he has played. But I don't think that's the answer. I think the Yankees got to get an outside source. You mentioned a name. You said Shelly Duncan. Is that something you would like to see?
Definitely. When you look at how this Yankees coaching staff is already set up, Aaron Boone comes from a baseball family, right? The third base coach, Luis Rojas, he comes from a baseball family. Shelly Duncan is the perfect option because he comes from a baseball family. His father was the hitting coach for the Bash brothers in Oakland when they won the World Series. So, and his brother was also a nice, solid major league player as well, Chris Duncan, who played for the St. Louis Cardinals. When you look at the players that are performing in Scranton Wilkes-Barre, Shelly Duncan, he's down there. So it's a level of comfort if you bring up Shelly Duncan and then you promote a Oswald Peraza or any of the other players from Scranton Wilkes-Barre. They have someone that they're used to when it comes to Shelly Duncan.
Funniest thing in the world is if like the Yankees wanted to be asses or just like wanted to get fans just to be like, hey, this is cool. I would have a tray of chicken parmesan made and I would leave it on the dugout step and take a picture and post it, new hitting coach. I think that would be actually pretty comical to make a joke about the situation.
Yes.
Even though you don't want to joke about somebody losing their job. And again, guys, look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I never want to see somebody lose their job. I never want to see a Yankee manager be unsuccessful or a coach be unsuccessful. We want our guys to succeed. It's that simple. We got another super chat to get to from our brother, Ra Thompson.
My guy, Ra.
My guy. Ra says, Yankees need one hitting coach. Sometimes less is more. Keep it simple. This is a very good point. The hitting coach needs to focus on what the player does well and not make hitters something they're not. Ra, I salute you. I salute you on that because that is literally the next point I was going to get into. If we watch a lot of the players on this club and we see their approach with 2 strikes, we see their approach with runners on base. Today, I saluted Harrison Bader on a play because he had an 0-2 count and he just did a little check swing and the ball went right up the middle for a base hit. And I said, now, if he's swinging for the fences, he probably strikes out on that pitch. He'll probably strike out and go down, and that is it. Gleyber Torres is a guy we're going to get into here momentarily because we're still going to talk about today's game and where the Yankees currently stand. But Gleyber Torres, to me, is one of like the shining spots of this club of going, the guy doesn't know who he is as a hitter. And it's like the Yankees are almost telling him, hey, look, you're a home run guy. You could pop 25, 30 homers a season. Forget the right field. Forget this. Forget putting the ball in play. Have that big swing. Have that big swing and just keep it rolling. I feel like Ra's onto something. I think there's a lot of guys that have an identity crisis here of who they are as a hitter.
And that's what confuses me, Pete, and a lot of us Yankee fans, and I know with you, when the front office, when we hear that they're analytic driven, right, that they go by the analytics, they go by the numbers, then you would know that the numbers tell you when Gleyber Torres hits it to right field, he's a 300+ hitter he hits it to right field. He runs into home runs when he runs into them, but he's a 300+ hitter. And I think that's the type of hitter that he should focus on trying to be. Not the guy that hit 30+ home runs a few years ago when the balls were juice. No, he needs to be a guy that focuses going to right field, take advantage of that short porch. You're going to run into some home runs when you run into them, but just be who you are. Don't try to be this made-up hitter that you're not.
And I want to get into this a little more and stick on this topic before we even move on, because there's some people I'm not letting off the hook here. This doesn't relieve me of letting anybody else off the hook. But before I do that, I want to read this quote from @RealBoShack. This is a good one. It's kind of what we're talking about already. Yankees must go out of the organization and poach a hitting coach from a team that actually understands hitting. This is a good point. The best thing Cashman ever did was understand that he and everyone in the organization had no clue about pitching. What do? They got Matt Blake from Cleveland. That is exactly what they did. They went and got Matt Blake from Cleveland and said, hey, the organization is yours. And look, if you want to salute any Yankee coach and anything in the Yankee system, it's that even in the minor leagues, they have pitched very well. But they've been able to get guys from other clubs that have problems with throwing strikes to start throwing strikes under Matt Blake. That is a good thing. And he is right in that regard, is that and again, that's where I go back to what I said and why it's confusing. It's a philosophy thing, in my opinion. They gotta fix the organization.
My fault. I just ESPN notification on my phone. Brian Cashman acknowledges he has been reluctant to make mid-season changes while relieving Dillon Lawson of his duties. It's from Brian Cashman.
I don't think it was Brian Cashman, though. That, to me, is a Hal Steinbrenner thing because Brian Cashman doesn't do stuff like that. At the end of the day, to me, that is on top of that, too, he does have to get the approval. He can't just go ahead and say, hey, I'm firing people. You know, that has to come from Steinbrenner, too. And it's outside of what the Yankees normally do. That is true. But speaking of Brian Cashman, I want to talk about him for a second. I'm not letting him off the hook.
No.
Brian, this is you. This is another stain on you. And you just got a 4-year deal. But this is another stain on you. You are the man riding the ship. You are the captain of this ship to say, guys, here's what I approve. Everyone knows. I could go back to Eric Kratz's face when I first had him on and I said, hey, look, my understanding is the biggest issue for the Yankees is Mike Fishman. And what did he do? Everybody knows this. But this is Brian Cashman doing this. So I'm not here sticking up for Dillon Lawson and saying, hey, he should have kept his job. Brian Cashman is the main culprit of this team's problems overall. He has had years to rebuild. Again, I talk about this all the time on Game Season Lives. He had at the end of the year, the Yankees lose. Brian Cashman comes out and goes, we got to get more speed, more athletic, and put the ball in play more. That's why we got Benintendi. What'd you do, Brian? What'd you do?
You let him
went
walk.
out and did nothing after it. Nothing, zero. And then you had the balls and the audacity to come out and go, we're a World Series caliber team. Well, you didn't change nothing. So at the end of the day, the players you're putting on the field are over the hill. Josh Donaldson. You haven't made the right move or the right trade for a big name. You passed up on Harper. You passed up on Machado. You passed up on Yoshida. How much more do we got to see to keep going? Roll the ball down the line. It was the hitting coach. It's the hitting coach. It's the pitching coach. It's the player. It's this move. It happens. When is Brian Cashman going to look at himself in the mirror and go, we fired the hitting coach today, but I understand that a lot of us are the problem here.
What's more upsetting, right, is that we should be going into this All-Star break celebrating Anthony Volpe putting us ahead in the game with that home run. That's what we should be celebrating, not celebrating the fact that Gleyber Torres botched the double play that blew up the inning. The hitting coach gets fired. The offense sucks. You have to come up here. We have to come up here and have this conversation. That's not what should be happening right now. We should be celebrating Anthony Volpe. But you brought up Brian Cashman, right? And that little thing that I read, that notification, what were you reluctant to do? What were you reluctant about? What's there to be reluctant about? When you see what's on the field, Giancarlo Stanton struggling to hit over 200, Josh Donaldson struggling to even getting close to hitting 200. How many of your big-time backs that we're supposed to rely on have been underperforming? What are you waiting for? And like I said on Get Yanked on Friday, that window that we built with the baby bombers when they came up back in 2017, that window has closed. It's
slam
gone. We haven't gotten
shut.
close. The closest we got was 2017, one game away from the World Series. We haven't sniffed that since then, bro.
I was about to say, what has happened since then? And that, again, is the biggest problem. Because, look, even before Aaron Boone, who was there? Brian Cashman.
Yep.
Even before Booney. You know, we can knock Booney all day. He made some quotes today that make you want to rip your hair out. But that's who Aaron Boone is. Who put him there? Oh, man. Girardi was too tough on guys. Okay. He got the best out of certain guys that we needed. Let me tell you something. With a guy like, and forget just Girardi, a Tony Pena, a Larry Bowa, whoever it might be that has the old school mindset of we get on that field, we win today, we play today, we win today. Anybody right now, folks, wouldn't sit there after this game and tell the media, but I don't think he makes that many errors. He's leading the league. And he should have 15, not 9. But all you do is give the guy cupcakes and say everything is okay. When are you going to sit there during a game and go, hey, Gleyber, you're not going back out. Oswaldo, go to second base. I don't got to do it mid-game while you're on the field. But when you come in, hey, Gleyber, look, sit down. That can't happen, my guy. That cannot happen. And you know better than this. That when I see stuff like that, you're going to be riding the bench. You're not playing. Go ahead. Go out there. There is no accountability on this club.
Nope.
None. There is zero. And this is why, unfortunately, we have to have the conversation that we're having today. And like you said, you're right. Why can't we be sitting here saying, you know what? Volpe has started to turn it around. He's one of our young products. We need him. Aaron Judge is starting to take batting practice and things like hitting off a tee. We need him back. Carlos Rodon is back. But no, because what we got today was a whole summary of the Yankees' first half is what we saw today.
Embarrassment. And then credit to Domingo Germán, right? You know, he was
phenomenal.
One hitter. The one hit he gave up was that solo jack job, right?
Yep.
Why are you taking him out? Let him work through it. he's going to be rested. Even when the Yankees come back and are in Colorado, he's not even pitching in that series.
Nope. And the craziest thing about that is that Boone goes, I want him to leave on a high note. He just threw a perfect game. Okay, he had a bad start in between. Fine. He got a one-hitter today. How about you let your pitchers pitch and leave the pen alone?
Mm-hmm.
Leave the pen. He should wear a shot collar that dogs wear. And when he gets ready to get up, you just buzz the shit out of his neck. You just see him out of nowhere like that. Real quick, just a twitch.
Oh, God.
I don't understand it. And guys, I'm going to pause for a second because we got 400 people in here. Do me a favor, smack that like button and hit the subscribe if you have not.
That's a fact.
We got a super chat from my guy V-Man. Girardi was the last resemblance of the old New York Yankees culture. When he got fired, we should have known that this was going to happen. And that's the other thing, too, to discuss. And I'm going to ask my fiance, I know she's watching, if she can put in the Morning Brew channel so we get everybody to subscribe. I know
yes.
Hector, Jigga, all of our friends over there closing in on 1,000 subscribers, so you guys can help.
We had 889 right now. So if you guys could give us a help trying to get to 1K, definitely would appreciate it. My guy Pete, always appreciate you plugging us whenever you get a chance.
Facts on facts. What family does, fam. We know that.
That's a fit.
But it's just stunning that we're truly here as a club and as an overall organization right now, that we've gone from guys like Girardi that played on that dynasty team. It's like the Yankees shy away from these guys. It's like they don't want those guys around, when in reality, I think you need guys that have won, guys that understand what it means to win in New York. But nowadays, what do you got, Hector? You got Michael Kay telling fans they're the problem. You got Steinbrenner going, I don't know why the fans are mad. What has happened here? I mean, as a fan, everybody's going to think maybe I'm nuts when I say this. I call every game, every pitch. It hurts me. It hurts me as a Yankee fan that I have to try to remind them of what they once were. That bothers me so much, that there's young kids coming up that never seen winning on the Yankees, and they think what this team is telling them is correct. That really pisses me off, that I got to go on rants and I got to scream after watching a game because I know the baseball they're playing is not correct. I just don't know how to fall from grace this organization has had. And Brian Cashman was a part of it. It's almost like he's scared of it. It's like he's running from what the greatness used to be. I don't understand it.
What's more depressing, right, is when you try to think back to the last time we won a championship in 2009, and when you think back to 2009 and then you reflect on all the technology that you have in 2023, and you realize the last time the Yankees won a World Series, that was before Instagram. That was before TikTok. That was before all these streaming platforms. So it makes it feels like that was in the 80s, right? 2009 Correct. Feels so far away. And like you said, there's so many young Yankee fans that they do not know what it is for the Yankees to win a championship. Our friend Halal from Backstage Baseball, he doesn't know what it is for the Yankees to win a championship.
And or seeing the Yankees that were born like right before it, before 09. You don't remember if you were 4 or 5
Mario,
years old.
He was super young when that last time the Yankees won a championship. So this is the longest drought.
Here goes our update right here, confirming that the Yankees will go outside the organization for their next hitting coach. So the Yankees are going to go outside of the organization. So it will not be Wilkerson. It will not be Shelley Duncan. It will come from outside the organization. And I do agree with what Real Bo Sheck said. He's right. I almost feel like that is the way they should go. And that is not a knock on Shelley Duncan. Shelley Duncan is the manager in AAA right now. He's doing a good job. It's not a knock on Shelley Duncan. Again, I feel like it's a philosophy thing. So if you are able to get a new person in to say, here's what I'll tell you right now, I wish it was my job. I wish it was my job, because I know what I would do. I could have been the greatest hitting coach on the planet. When I come in there, I look at them and go, what's the deal with Donaldson? What's the deal with him? Before I agree to this, I would like to have an understanding and an idea. What's the deal with this club?
Are we going to keep him? Do I have to waste my
What's
time coming up with reports to try to help him get better? Do I have to
exactly.
watch his film? Or can I just come in there with a clean slate like Oswald Peraza and work with him?
Or Hector. Or can I come in there and tell the truth that he's 37 years old and he's washed? I'm not coming in here with a time machine to dial it back to 08.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want me coming in here and I'm supposed to come in here and fix things up, can you guys at least let me know what is the plan for the deadline? Are we going to be adding? Is that guaranteed? Is Donaldson going to get only a week or is he done now? What are my options? If I look at your system and I go, that kid should be up. He's part of what my hitting philosophy should be. I want him at third base. Anthony Volpe's going to remain up top in the order. DJ LeMahieu needs to see less time. That is what I'm coming in here and doing. If I'm not getting that and they're saying, hey, look, just come in and kind of keep it running, we had to make a change, I don't want a part of this. I don't want to be a part of this. So, unfortunately, it won't be somebody in. A lot of people in the chat are saying names already of who it could be. We'll find out. But and I think we'll definitely find out before Colorado series starts, or probably the next day or so.
Definitely.
We'll find out what happens. But I mean, what are your thoughts on that of them going outside?
Well, I want to ask you because it's interesting that they said outside the Yankees organization, because a lot of fans want Paul O'Neill to be the hitting coach. That's what a lot of fans on Twitter have been saying. And if you think about it, working for Yes is technically outside the Yankees organization because you're not working with the New York Yankees. You work for Yes, a media company and a cable network that's totally different, right? So we all know Yes as being a part of the New York Yankees, but when you read outside the Yankees organization, could Paul O'Neill be an option?
I think he could. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I almost feel like Paul O'Neill probably doesn't want it. To be honest with you.
To see what's going on with the team right now.
A couple
does
of people
he want to
mentioned,
come into this mess?
That's the thing. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I feel like this position is something you're going to have to come into and really have demands here. Carlos Beltran is an option.
Yeah, I'll take
somebody
Beltran.
Outside. You also, I don't think a Yadier Molina would make sense. I don't think he's coming over from being where
he's more of a manager than a hitting coach anyway.
Correct. Somebody said Mattingly. They'll never let Mattingly come to the Yankees right now. No way.
No, not Toronto. And that's what I want to ask you. When they say outside the organization, do you see any organization giving up any of their hitting coaches right now during the season?
That's why it's tough. It could either potentially be a minor league coach that's maybe coaching in the minors. For another club that doesn't, because a team can't block that. A team could only block if it's not necessarily like a promotion. So for an example, if you're they could still grant it, but they can't really block it if it's a promotion. Yeah. That you can't really, that's just a comment that you don't want to do that to somebody. It's not right. But just to give you guys an update here, Casey Dykes and Brad Wilkerson will remain as the hitting coaches for the Yankees. So they are not leaving. They will not lose their jobs. They will stay as assistants to the hitting coach. Damian Serrano says judge for hitting.
I saw that. Shout out to Damian. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat also. If you guys
want to give a rundown? Give a rundown.
Let's do a little bit of a rundown. We got 423 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack at the like button like my brother Pete says. We got Michael Sheen in the building. Anthony Reyes is in the building. Our guy Sunil, it's in the building. Epic Warriors in the building.
Yeah.
Udo Yosef is in the building. My guy Adam DeSico is in the building, and Austin Thompson, Samantha T. Appreciate all of you guys for showing up. And you know what? I got me my Stone Cold Lager. You feel me? Ain't nothing says America like drinking Stone Cold Steve Austin on a Sunday night. You feel me? It's pretty good. I ain't going front. It's pretty good.
All right, my man Hector just throwing them back tonight. I feel it.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying.
The first half of the Yankees will make you drink pretty heavy. Actually,
I did a solid week of just water, so Sunday is where I take out the beer. You feel me?
That's all right. No
Especially after today.
Especially after today, no doubt about it. But let's talk briefly as we continue to get updates, and we'll be checking Twitter. And guys, feel free to throw your updates in the chat and any other questions that you guys do have.
Salute to Yankee Kyle also, because this is somebody who's always throwing out our stream whenever we're live in his community tab. So shout out to Yankee Kyle in the chat.
Yep, that's my guy, Yankee Kyle. And by the way, too, here's another update here from Brian Hoke. Cashman said he asked for Hal Steinbrenner's blessing yesterday to make a change. So the 14-1 loss to the Orioles, plus getting shut out by Jameson Taillon, was the final straw for the New York Yankees. So again, as we said before, guys, he had to get the approval of Steinbrenner. But it does kind of, if this is correct, it basically does say that Brian Cashman went ahead with wanting to make this move, and the move was made. But again, Brian Cashman also put him there. You know what I mean? That's.
If you went yesterday to have the conversation with Hal Steinbrenner, right, to get his blessing, why did you wait till after today's game? You should have let it come out last night. That way you got a clear message to the players that things have to change in the second half. And us Yankee fans, we could have probably digest this loss a lot better knowing that Dillon Lawson was fired before the game. Why did you wait till after the game?
And this is a good tweet right here from Mike Francesa, of all people.
Okay.
Instead of Yanks firing the hitting coach, okay. Maybe they should get rid of the dead weight in their lineup and add some qualifying left-handed hitting.
Hey!
Salute, Mikey.
The Godfather.
Yeah, Mike Francesa's right. That's something that we've been saying for a while. Get back to getting some of those guys in there. Again, here's another one here. Brian Cashman said the next hitting coach will come from outside the organization, and he wants a new person in place, of course, by the Colorado series. So everybody start the whole who's it going to be. I do tell you what. I lay out the red carpet for A-Rod to get his ass over here, but that ain't going to happen.
Really? Would you?
Oh, man, I get A-Rod back in the system. Man, my man knows more baseball than friggin' anybody. I mean, Carlos says I could be it. I mean, I could have fixed Volpe pretty quickly, so who knows?
You definitely pointed it out. You was pointing a lot of things out. But I want to ask you, do you think the organization, when it comes to Alex Rodriguez and how he tried to sue them and everything that happened, the toxic nature of what the last part of that relationship was, you don't think that we'll ever have an A-Rod day in Yankee Stadium?
I think it'll be a while. It'll probably be a long time for that to happen. It'll be a very long time for that to happen, but it's going to be interesting to see like what organization. I think that's a good thing to look at. Who do the Yankees value? You know, what system out there do they value? You know, is there somebody from Miami who's doing well, who's overperforming? Is there somebody over there in their system that they may want to bring over as hitting coach? But you know, moving on from that one topic, because I know there's going to be more updates maybe by the end of the show that we'll get to as we go. But I want to ask a couple of things from you. Yankees obviously can't hit. That is their biggest problem. When they asked Aaron Boone today, is that what gives you, faith that this team is going to be different or change or become better? He circled the starting rotation.
Bro.
And I know if somebody came to me and goes, Pete, what is likely going to be the best part of the second half? And I would go, well, I mean, they probably keep pitching pretty well is what my assumption would be. Carlos Rodon is back. He's ready to go. Yankees offense, Hector. Do you continue this club with a Gleyber Torres? Do you continue this club? Or do you call up teams and go, hey, look, Gleyber's available. Somebody wants to somehow make a deal for Donaldson. He's available. I mean, what do you do? Like, what do you look at this club and go, we need offense. What do we fix? And what are we willing to take as a risk?
With Gleyber Torres is tough, right? Because it's a love-hate relationship with him, right? You saw what happened today, his miscues and stuff like that. It gets you so frustrated, right? But on the flip side of it, he's probably, with minus Aaron Judge, he is our best hitter with runners in scoring position. Yeah, he's literally almost at 300. He's hitting 299 with runners in scoring position. He has the most plate appearances outside of Aaron Judge. I think he has more plate appearances than Aaron Judge with runners in scoring position, and he has a better batting average than anyone else that is not Aaron Judge. So if we didn't have Gleyber Torres, yes, this offense is bad, but how much worse would it be without Gleyber Torres?
And that's exactly my point. And
that's the tough spot that you're in, because yes, we see the mistakes. Yeah, we're frustrated with him, but we will be a lot worse without him. Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right, and I agree with you. And that's why I bring up, as you're looking at Gleyber Torres' StatCast here, I mean, he's a top 76 percentile in max exit velocity. Hard hit percentage is definitely down, but the best thing that Gleyber has done this year, he doesn't strike out no more. His strike, look at that K. I mean, he's not striking out like he normally does. He is one of the best, top 90 percentile in Major League Baseball. He's also walking more. But this is who Gleyber is, and I'm telling you guys right now, if Gleyber Torres stopped swinging for the fences, and like you said, his approach was right field driven, this guy will be a guy that will bat 275.
Bring that back up, because
Yes,
you brought up, if he focuses on right. Look at the hits.
Yeah.
There's more hits to left field and up the middle than there is to right field.
Because it's all about power for him. It's all
Focus
about hitting
on
for
right
pop.
field. And then look
Correct.
right there how many double plays he's hitting into. Look at the thing right there on top of second base. Focus to right field.
That's right. And
that's what this spray chart should be reversed.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons. Of course, everybody knows. I always say I'm not an analytical guy, but it does tell you a part of the story that could become very, very important for your team, and that does tell you right there. You look at that and go, Gleyber he doesn't go to right field enough. There's something wrong that he does there, and every off season that I've been doing NyynewsTV, which is now 2 years, but I also had my Simonetti Source channel before that, that I was also doing, deadline stuff and talking about news and putting out news. And every year I find myself saying the same thing. Are the Yankees going to get creative? At what point do you look at this and go, hey, God, this is what my conversation would be. I'd get all my baseball people around and say, guys, look, what we have right now has not worked. It just hasn't worked. And that is as clear as day. Whether the numbers say this or that you think will change, fact of the matter is, guys, it has not worked.
Facts.
What did work back in the day? Well, we look at the 2017 lineup. We had more lefties in there. We look at the 09 lineup. It was really righty switch lefty down the entire thing. What could we do to make that difference? Add a little balance, and at the end of the day, get away from the whole, we got to wait for a home run. We got to leave that in the past for right now, because it's not going to work. So I would sit down with my guys and go, if Gleyber Torres could get us somebody that we feel is better for us now, do we bite that bullet and make that move? Do we think Peraza is going to be good enough to handle third base? Do we make some changes that make some people go, whoa, the Yankees? Do we trade a Nestor Cortez? Do we trade a Marinaccio? Do we trade some of the strength as almost a sacrifice and take a big risk to make up for our offense? Do we get a Bellinger and go, hey, look, if Rizzo's struggling, I'm sorry, Cody plays first base? I mean, do you put your foot down here and go, God, enough? If you're not playing well, you're not playing. And send a message to your clubhouse. Yeah, you thought these guys were safe. You're not. We are not an organization that comes halfway in the year and we're out of the playoffs. If the season ended today, there is no Yankee postseason. You know what that tells me? You gotta be creative and you gotta take risk. That's what I want the Yankees to do.
Not just that, we're literally one game away from being in last place in our division. Let's let that sink in. One game away. The Red Sox are behind this when you look at the standings, right? Me, when it comes to going outside the organization or trying to trade, I've been preaching for the past couple of weeks. I love the idea of calling up the Washington Nationals and trying to get Lane Thomas and Candelario, the third baseman, as a switch hitter. I would love that. That way you can put Lane Thomas in left field, Candelario at third base. You could trade Gleyber Torres for a bullpen arm. Seattle needs a second baseman. You could try to get Andre Munoz from the Seattle Mariners. Then you could call up Peraza to play second base. We got Candelario, who's a switch hitter. Lane Thomas, who's borderline 300 hitter. He's going to be an all-star for the Nationals.
Yep,
that makes sense to me. Well, if you want to get sexy, you still go out there and get Cody Bellinger.
Well, let me pull this up for you and show everybody what you're talking about. You remember Gleyber's spray chart? That's Candelario's spray chart.
Yeah,
look at that.
But look at, he's going to right field in a Yankee Stadium. Those numbers would play better.
And he's a switch hitter.
Yes.
The Yankees need balance in their lineup. There's a couple of things here that I like. There's some things that you get a little worried about. You see the average exit velocity. That's okay. When he hits the ball, though, he hits the ball very hard. He's not a huge strikeout guy. He's a little above mid-pack. He's mid-pack when it comes to walks. He's a very good defender. Very good defender. Look at those outs above replacement.
Facts.
He's a very good, so you're not losing anything there. I want to check something out, see what his numbers would be at Yankee Stadium on home runs. I know this doesn't really matter, but it's just for fun. Let's see. At Yankee Stadium, he'd have 13 homers. I think right now with the Nats, he has 12, so he'd have one more. So again, it's not like his numbers would be significantly changed, but I agree again.
He'll be second on the team in home runs behind Judge.
Correct. And on top of that, you've just replaced him with Josh Donaldson. I mean, you replaced Josh Donaldson with him. So what type of impact does that have on your overall club? Instead of, there goes, get away to right-hander that can't hit. Now you put in the switch hitter who's having a very good year. And it's probably riding a high going, hey, look, I'm finally putting it together. I'm going to get a nice contract. I'm in line to get a nice contract. And now I could come here and try to help the Yankees get into the playoffs and win a World Series. Because I'll tell you this, too. The Yankees are going to win this year. They're going to win in spite of Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone is going to, I promise you guys this. Aaron Boone will continue to make mistakes. Aaron Boone will continue to run this bullpen like a chicken with no head. That's just who Aaron Boone is as a manager. Nobody's going to fix that. If the Yankees win a World Series, it will be in spite of Aaron Boone, in my humbled opinion. And I do think that Cody Bellinger is just one of those other guys that you almost can't miss on. You got to go after him. Anthony Rizzo's not the same.
No.
I mean, I don't know if this neck thing really has been that bad for him, but he's not the same.
I'm not sure if there's anything that's underlying. I'm not sure if it's like a deep tissue issue that's going on with Anthony Rizzo, if he's just trying to hang in there because Aaron Judge is not in the lineup. But if that's the case, he's hurting us more than he's helping us. I felt he should have had an extended time on the IL just to heal up property, especially when it comes to that neck situation. I'm somebody, and you know, P, I deal with neck, back, and hip issues. That's nothing to play around with. You lose strength when it comes to if it's a pinched nerve, anything in his neck, that's a bit scary, and he should have took some time and won in the IL. But the fact that Aaron Judge is not in the lineup and we need Anthony Rizzo, that's how much we are hurting right now. But I'm on board with you. If Anthony Rizzo was struggling and we have Cody Bellinger, why not?
Well, I've always been a big fan of friendly competition on your club to let guys know, hey, look, if you're not performing, this guy could do your job. You know, Bader's out there. We get Judge back eventually. Stanton's been playing some right field. Hey, look, if Cody's tearing the cover off of the ball with us and we bring him in, if we need him at first base every now and then, he's going to be there. You know, if our outfield is performing and you're not, he's there. So his season is kind of odd because analytics don't like him too much. But let me use Brian Cashman's words against him. We need to add more speed. We need to become more athletic, and we got to put the ball in play. You mentioned Candelario. Candelario puts the ball in play. He's not striking out as much, right? We know that already. The K rate on Cody Bellinger is almost the top 80 percentile, folks. Anybody that compares this guy to Joey Gallo, take a walk. Take a walk.
Thanks.
I've heard that too much, and it's terrible. It's not Joey Gallo. His chase rate is down, meaning he's not chasing bad pitches anymore. His walk rate is good. All right, he's not barreling the ball. Okay. He's not hitting the ball extremely hard. He's also in a lineup with not much protection. What if you have Volpe 1, Bellinger 2, Judge comes back 3? And now he's getting fastballs right down to Johnson. You don't think Cody Bellinger is taking advantage of the right field porch? He's one of the best defenders in baseball, whether it's at the outfield or first base. Is this not a move that improves the Yankees?
If there was, you know, people kept talking about how Bryce Harper was a perfect fit for the Yankees. If there's anyone that's a perfect fit for the Yankees, it's Cody Bellinger. It's his connection to the organization. It's the fact that his father used to play for the team back in the championship dynasty era. You heard Paul O'Neill. If you were watching the game and listening to Paul O'Neill, he got choked up because he's calling a game that Cody Bellinger hit a home run in. And this is a kid that used to play in the playroom at the old Yankee Stadium with his his son. Even Paul O'Neill had to recognize that was the moment he got choked up. And Cody Bellinger, he's a perfect fit for the Yankees. We desperately need him. It's a guy like you said, can play first base. He could play center field. He could play right field. He could play left field. He could definitely patrol the Death Valley in Yankee Stadium. Come on.
No doubt. And Hector, I mean, the one thing I'll give the Yankees credit for, and I'll repeat it again, is their pitching. Carlos Rodon is back. And once I saw that, if I'm Brian Cashman, I'm sitting back going, hey, organization, guys that work under me, I need a list of the prospects, one, that are going to be Rule 5 eligible that we have to get rid of. 1. 2, everybody that you guys feel we can trade in the right deal. I want a list of all of them right now, this moment. Get them to me. And I am going all out to, 1, support the manager of the club that you picked, whether you agree with him or not. I don't like Aaron Boone. I don't think he should be the manager of this club. If I'm his GM, I got to support him. I put it there. I got to support him. Whoever the new hitting coach is, I got to support that person. I got to support the players that I know for real are busting it down there. And I got to support those guys. And I am opening up my farm system. If I got to make every deal that I made, like the Joey Gallo deal, where I go, hey, Chicago, you want Trey Sweeney and you want Randy Vasquez and a pitcher or whatever it is for Bellinger. Yeah, we would take that deal, but you got to take, the remaining contract. I'll throw in a single A pitcher. You guys take it. I'd do the deal. I would overpay for everybody right now because this team is just a facelift away on the offense to legitimately being a real contender. And that's me saying that because I love Carlos Rodon. I love Garrett Cole. Domingo Germán has been much better. Clark Schmidt has looked better. Even if you got to deal a Nestor and go, look, we're going to take away from something we think is good to put somewhere else to take a risk. I am all for it. But this team must be the team of the trade deadline.
Like you said, they have to get creative. And this trade deadline, Brian Cashman, Brian Sabian, Omar Minaya, you guys are going to have to go into your war room, sit down for hours, lock yourselves in there, and get creative when it comes to trade ideas. Because like you said, this trade deadline, this may be the most important trade deadline of Brian Cashman's tenure as a Yankees GM, right? Because where the team is at right now. And it's kind of weird because growing up, when we were growing up as young kids watching the Yankees, it was reversed. We were always the best offense. We were always one of the best offense. And it was our pitching. We had Mariano at the end, but we had no one else to bridge the game to Mariano. We hardly got any starters that could go into the 6th or 7th inning. And the roles have reversed now. Now we got Garrett Cole. Carlos Rodon looked amazing. They probably should have not sent him back out there for that extra inning. If you want him, if you wanted to get his numbers up on his pitches, then send him to the bullpen to finish it in the bullpen.
Can I cut you off right there regarding that? Why didn't he, Boone, use the same sentiment with Rodon that he used with Germán today? I want him to leave on a high note. 5 innings. Let him get out of there. I mean, that's why I always said you could just use this team's words against them. The dude just threw a perfect game. What are you talking about, fam? But anyway, here's a quote from Brian Cashman. Brian Cashman on the Yankees hitting coach situation. It's not going to get better as it sits. We will be better served with a new messenger. I have a little concern about this. I have a little concern about this. It's the famous saying, right? Don't shoot the messenger. The messenger is just passing the message. That's a problem to me. That's just, even if it's just a lack of words, that's a problem to me. We need a new figurehead. That's what he's saying. I mean, again, maybe I'm looking into it too much because it's just a quote. It's not going to get better as it sits. We will be better served with a new messenger passing along our message.
It's weird how the tone switches in a span of 48 hours because when Aaron Boone had his post-game conference, game 1 that we lost against Chicago, it was a total different conversation. It's just, well, we got to get it together. The organization knows what we're doing. The coaching staff know what we're doing. But 2 days later, now you're saying, well, the situation wasn't going to work the way that it was at. What happened in 48 hours that you switch your tone?
Exactly. I don't know.
It wasn't 2 weeks. It wasn't a whole month. It was 48 hours from your first game 1 pros to this one.
We got a super chat by Samantha. She goes, I have a feeling that we will not be happy with who they pick. Cash usually goes with the worst choice. I don't trust him. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about this organization, folks, is that, and that's one of my biggest problems that I talk about all the time when it comes to the New York Yankees in general, is that we just have seen so much of it now that there is no confidence in what they will do. We can't have a confidence in what they will do. And that's why I really get upset when Michael Kay interviews guys like Hal Steinbrenner, and he easily lets them off the hook when they go, I don't know why fans are mad. And you could have went down a list, a laundry list of, hey, I talk to these fans daily. I'm with these fans every day. Let me give you what they're telling me. And then you answer right there. And you could have went down a laundry list of what the problem with this organization is and why fans are upset. And they don't do it. So Samantha, I'm right there with you. I'm not expecting that the Yankees make the right moves, because I've seen some people already saying, hey, go with you got some of these young kids out there saying, get the nerdiest guy possible, the most analytically driven guy that's ever lived. No, get a guy who swung the bat at the major league level and knows how to do it. Knows how to get a guy and go, look, here's how you go to the two-strike approach. Let me show you a video of what you're doing. This is 42 at-bats. We're going to watch them all in a row. Look at your two-strike approach. What's wrong with that? All right, here's what you need to be doing on that too. Whatever it is, but you need a mechanic. Now, forget the analytics. Forget the nerd. You need a mechanic that can come in there and go, nope, this, move that there. There we go. That's going to fix you going. Let's get in the batting cage early. We got a couple of days to work on this. Let's get it locked in. Let's change up the idea of how to do this. That's what the Yankees need. Forget this nonsense of this analytic-driven guy and guys that are talking about exit velo and launch angles. What is Luis Ariza's launch angle this year? You want to pull up his StatCast? Let's take a laugh. Let's take a laugh, folks. Because
let's do it. Go ahead.
Let's take a little bit of a laugh. Where's Luis Ariza, who's arguably one of the best hitters in the planet right now? Let's see what his analytic numbers tell us about him. Let's go ahead. I haven't even pulled it up yet. It's going to surprise. Oh, whoa. Max exit velocity, one of the worst in baseball. Guess what
Hard
the nerds
hits.
wouldn't want? Hector, the nerds wouldn't want him on the team.
No. This is not a good player, bro. Just looking at these numbers, this is not good.
This is a terrible baseball player, according to the majority of the analytic departments of the world. This is a guy who doesn't move the needle. Mind you, he's hitting 383. He's hitting like 4 Yankee players combined.
He doesn't strike out. He puts the ball in play. He gets hits with runners in scoring position. He's amazing when it's a late game situation. But no, according to these numbers, like you said, analytics, why have him on the team? He's trash.
Oh, my God, Hector, look at that launch angle. 11.4.
Oh, man. No way.
Oh, my God. What a bad launch angle.
He's not competing with Josh Donaldson's launch angle. I'll tell you that.
No. Josh Donaldson. You must be crazy if you think Josh Donaldson won't have a bounce-back season. You must be crazy.
I want to ask you a question, Pete. I want to ask the chat, too, right? Because we've heard rumblings and we heard conversations about the MLB moving teams to Las Vegas or adding 2 teams when it comes to the expansion. So I'm going to ask you, Pete, when it comes to the expansion draft, right, major league teams, they get to throw some of the players at the bottom of their roster inside of the expansion draft, right? So when you look at the Yankees roster, obviously Aaron Judge is going to be protected. Garrett Cole is going to be protected. But if you were on an expansion team that was just coming and was just being born, are you picking Giancarlo Stanton in the expansion draft?
No.
Are you picking DJ LeMahieu
No.
in the expansion draft? What about Anthony Rizzo? Are you picking him in the expansion draft?
No. Anthony Rizzo hasn't homered so long, I forgot the song. I hope it's a muscle memory that my song comes back to me when he homers.
I think John Sterling forgot his home run call when it comes to Anthony Rizzo.
Probably did. So, I mean, and again, this is why we have, podcasts, and as content creators, we talk about these things because, again, 1, we love the club, and 2, I'm going to acknowledge the good, but I'm also going to highlight the bad because I know what the team needs to do. This Yankee team, again, just needs a facelift. They need a facelift on the offense. And at the end of the day, folks, I don't want to hear the nonsense at all that there's not enough things out there. They can't move certain players. They can't do this. They can't do that. Folks, they can do it. They can do it. If Brian Cashman wants to go out there now and Hal Steinbrenner goes out there and go, hey, guys, look, you can go over. We can go over. I'm willing to. If I sit down with all my people, you guys believe that if we make these moves, we're a World Series team, you go do it. Let's prove these guys wrong. Let's prove that our philosophy is gonna work. Let's go for it. Let's put our money where our mouth is. Go out there and make the right moves. But the question still unfortunately exists. Is Brian Cashman the right guy to even make any of these moves? That's the biggest problem.
Hal Steinbrenner needs to get the Yankees doctor, give him an envelope underneath the table to diagnose Josh Donaldson with a season-ending surgery or injury. That way the Yankees could put him on the 60-day IL. Insurance picks up the rest of that money, so they have money freed up when it comes to adding on to the payroll. That way they could add Cody Bellinger in the rest of his contract for the rest of the season. I'm just saying hypothetically.
No, I love that idea from you. I think it makes all the sense in the world, but we'll see what happens, guys. The big news of unfortunately the first half is over. The big news should be that the Yankees are not in a playoff spot right now. They are out of the wild card spot. Again, for anybody that hasn't been here since the beginning, let me just go ahead and flip over to that. That is the current AL East. As you can see, the Yankees are a game away from being in the basement of the American League East. The Boston Red Sox are coming on hard. I told people the other day when I think I did All Rise, and I said, don't be shocked if Boston comes on very, very hard and makes some changes and gets better. Their run differential is now better than the Yankees. Don't be shocked if you see Minnesota pick it up as they always do. If you look at the wild card teams, don't be shocked if, of course, Houston keeps getting better. Don't be shocked if Seattle, as they do almost every season in the second half, come on strong. There is a real possibility that the New York Yankees do not make the postseason this year. And to start the second half of the year, they will not be in a playoff position. I mean, that's the message to me.
And if we don't make the playoffs, knock on wood, but if we don't make the playoffs, is Hal Steinbrenner going to live up to his end of the bargain? Because you remember when he was having that interview and he said, if we don't make the playoffs, decisions will be made. Things will happen. So let's see if this team, and ultimately, of course, me and Pete, we want to see this team in the postseason.
We want to see them win the World Series.
Exactly.
Even with Boone.
We want to watch every game. We want to watch every inning. We want to watch every pitch. But we understand changes are only going to happen if we don't make the postseason. That's the only way changes is going to happen when it comes to the manager or when it comes to Brian Cashman, right? So we have to see right now if the season will end, would Hal Steinbrenner make the moves that he said he would make it?
Yep. No doubt about it. So again, guys, I just want to say this has been by far the biggest episode of Designated Spitters that we have ever done. We've had 500 in here, mainly well over 400 the entire time. I'm going to ask the beautiful, lovely, wonderful fiance to one more time throw in Yanks Morning Brew so we can get excuse me, not Yanks Morning Brew, Morning Brew Sports. So we get that in there, get you guys all subbed up. We got a lot of things coming up. You guys are going to see more of this handsome fuck's face tomorrow, because tomorrow for the Home Run Derby, we will be live during the Home Run Derby, and I think Luis Robert or Adolis Garcia are going to put on a show. Those are my, I don't want to take picks too quick.
No, I got Roberts. I really like that kid.
We're going to talk about this tomorrow. I think it's a horrible idea for Adley Rutschman to be in a home run derby. I'm just saying, as a catcher, I heard Todd Frazier talking. He was like, it killed me. For like the rest of the year, I was done. I never felt the same. For Rutschman to do that, Baltimore, I mean, they got a little bit of balls on them. Because I think if I was their owner, I would be like, nah, kid, I'm sorry. I know you want to be there. You're great. You're an all-star. Don't go in that thing. Don't do it. Not right now.
When Aaron Judge in 2017, right, his rookie season, when he was in the home run derby, us fans, we were excited. But hindsight, if we could go back in time and tell him, maybe you should sit this one out, I think a lot of us fans would have rather him sit that one out in 2017 because his numbers dipped in the second half. And you could point to the home run derby. It takes a lot out of you. You mess up your swing because you're trying to just launch the home run out. So if I'm Baltimore, I'm nervous. If I'm the fans, enjoy the moment. You'll regret it later, but enjoy the moment.
Yeah, I'm just that was kind of, as somebody who appreciates that organization, the Warriors. I think they're a great organization. I really hope they put money in that. They could be a great club for a long time. I think that was kind of crazy.
I would love, right, in the future, right? I would love that when it comes to the home run derby, that they switch it up. They get a little funky. I would like to see one round, each batter hit with a cork bat.
That would be fire. Why not?
And see what happens.
Why not? I would love to see that. I think we just had an update. Let me see before we get ready to sign off. If I can't pull it up on here, I'll see. Christian just sent it to me. Why don't I see it?
Look, Q just brought up. You remember Bobby Abreu? Bobby Abreu killed
never the same
it.
player.
He never hit 30 home runs after that in his career.
He was never the same player ever again.
He was easily 30 home runs, 20 doubles, 20 stolen bases. After that, he was never the same.
Let me read it from here. Brian Cashman via Yankees press release. Let's see.
Let's see.
It has been well documented that I have been reluctant in the past to make changes to our coaching staff in the middle of a season, said Cashman. I am a big believer that success and failures are collective efforts. However, I ultimately felt that a change was needed and that a new voice, I like that, a new voice, not a messenger, overseeing our hitting operations will give us the best chance to perform closer to our capabilities as we move forward into the second half of the season. I want to thank Dillon for his efforts. He has a bright baseball mind that will continue to lead a long and fruitful baseball career. So I don't mind that. I like that. I'm okay more with the add a new voice to the club. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that. Add a new voice.
You got to shake it up. You got to shake it up. And I wouldn't mind Paul O'Neill, right? I know we talked about it just a little bit. And I know a lot of the fans online, especially on Twitter, that was their first option. I wouldn't be mad at Paul O'Neill because that was a left-handed hitter that he was constantly hitting over 300. He wasn't striking out. He was walking. I think he probably hit 30 home runs once or twice in his career, if I'm not mistaken. But he was constantly at 300 plus batting average. So give me Paul O'Neill every day of the week.
Well, it's going to be interesting. We'll have breaking news definitely over the next day or so as to discuss who the next hitting coach is. But again, guys, tomorrow we will be back. We are covering the home run derby. It'll be me, it'll be Hector, and it'll be our friends from the Bronx or Nothing, Mario Gomez and Kevin. We're going to be chilling, sitting back. I got to go buy some Presidentes because I'm going to have a couple of beers tomorrow for that. No doubt about it. Just sitting back, chilling, having a good time. We got that on Monday.
Stone Cold Lager.
Got his little Stone Cold Lager there. Tuesday, what am I doing on Tuesday? Tuesday's the All-Star game. I'm supposed to be on foul territory on Tuesday. I think they're going to try to get me on for Garrett Cole's inning. So I'll be on for that. If something doesn't happen there, I'll call the All-Star game. So I give you guys my word on that, but I am already confirmed to be on just in case something fell off. I'll do the game. Wednesday, NYYST is going to be live Wednesday night. I got the Twins coming out with something that they're going to do hopefully on Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday, myself, Dane, and hopefully Yankees Farm. We'll see if he's going to be able to jump on or not. We will be giving you guys the rundown on the Yankees minor league system. Who is the big guy of the year? Who's the surprise? Who's the sleeper? Who's disappointing? All that fun stuff. Samantha, the Derby tomorrow is 8 p.m. is the time the Derby begins. But Hector, any last words?
I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm ordering me some chicken nuggies. Like Sunday and Monday is gonna be my cheat day, right? I told you I was good for a whole week. You feel me? I had a beer today. I'm gonna have another one tomorrow. I'm gonna get me some chicken nuggies and some French fries ready for the home run derby. But no, besides that,
I might have a little snack with me during
get a little snacky snack, a kettle corn popcorn maybe. It's low on the carbs, low on the carbs.
Low on the carbs.
Yeah, exactly. Dairy free. Don't get no butter on it.
Okay, all right.
But no, Pete,
all right.
I just want to say thank you, bro. Anytime you need me, just send that bat signal and I'm here, brother.
I do. I got a Hector bat signal, folks. It's a big chicken tendy.
That's a fact. It's
just a big chicken tendy. He got one for me too. Whenever we see the chicken tendy in the sky, like, oh man, Hector, yo, what's up, fam?
I'm weak.
That's it. But guys, you are the best. Chat, thank you guys so much. You guys have blew us up for the biggest episode that we have ever done of Designated Spitters. So thank you guys so much. the fiance just reminded me. Got 400 plus people in it, guys. September 23rd. We
Yes.
have the Audi Club, 28 tickets left. And at night from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., we are at Sucker Punch Sports Bar, NYY News TV, Morning Brew Sports. We are coming together for an amazing event of all New York sports. Those tickets are also available right now. I'm actually going to play that as the outro today to get you guys that. But the fiance will put the links in for the Audi Club and also for the after party. So until next time, guys, you know we will never come whack on a designated spitter's track. Until next time, guys, we are out. Adios.
Peace.